Rule number one, please keep your microphones muted unless you are recognized to speak to avoid background noise. Rule number two, everyone is encouraged to turn on their cameras if possible. Rule number three, if you wish to ask a question later, please use the raise hand feature or type your question in the chat box.
Kindly state your name and institution before asking your question during the open forum. Let us practice respectful and inclusive communication at all times. Please remain in the session until the end of the program as we value everyone's participation. Lastly, this session may be recorded for documentation purposes.
We appreciate your cooperation in making this collaborative event meaningful and successful.
Thank you for your cooperation in following the guidelines. So, punta sa phone. Prayer, no? Mag-prayer namin. Mag-iwan namin. Doon ako.
Let us begin with a moment of prayer, which will then be followed by the national anthems of the Philippines and Indonesia.
In the school hymns of Mindanao State University and Universitas Negeri Malang. As we are waiting, please stand by, everyone. Ano? So, ano dahil yun?
Ni Jerry di ba?
Mission Bayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Sa langit ng pagkaw ay hinagang tuglagan.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever.
Mabuhay and selamat datang!
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Lizar Kernel,
And I'm Rolf Travis Mendoza.
and we are your Masters of Ceremony. For the collaborative online international learning on multicultural learning and literacy across the Indonesian and Philippine curriculum.
Distinguished guests, speakers, colleagues, and friends, a pleasant morning and welcome. Today marks the special event about the COIL on multicultural learning and literacy across the Indonesian and Philippine curriculum.
And now, to formally commence this event, it is our honor to introduce Dr. Ma Afralik, SPD and MPD, Department Head of Universities, Universitas Negeri Malang. Dr. Afralik, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Good morning, distinguished colleagues, respected partner, and dear student. It is my great honor as the head of the Department Universitas Negeri Malang to officially open the 20 to seek collaboration online, international learning, COIL, program between our department and Mindanao State University. This program reflects our shared commitment to fostering global collaboration, intercultural dialogue, and academic excellence. Through COIL, we are not only connecting classroom across border, but also building meaningful partnership that empower our students to become global-minded educator and future leader. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to our colleagues of Mindanao State University for the collaboration and dedication in making the program possible. May this infinitive strengthen our institutional partnership and create enriching learning experience for all participants. Thank you, and I wish everyone a productive and inspiring program. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Dr. Afrali, for your inspiring words that set the tone for our discussion today. Thank you very much. Moving forward, we are privileged to hear a message of support from the Dean of College of Education, Ms. Dr. Diane May E. Landay Lozano, EDD, the Dean of the College of Education, City.
Hello, everyone. Greetings of peace. Chancellor Abantas is already in the loop. Let's call Chancellor Abantas this time to give the opening message. To our host, kindly introduce Chancellor.
We are privileged to hear a message of support from Attorney Shidikti Abantas, MDM, LLM, the Chancellor of Mindanao State University, General Sanas. Chancellor Abantas, the floor is respectfully yours.
Thank you for having me today. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. For our
Salam.
Muslim friends who are here, Ramadan Mubarak. Good day to our partners from Universitas Negeri Malang, faculty members, support staff, and students from both institutions. On behalf of Mindanao State University General Santos, I extend my warmest welcome to everyone joining us for this first session of the collaborative online international learning. The COIL program is truly a great initiative. By connecting classrooms across countries through co-designed and co-taught lessons, we create structured opportunities for joint discussions and collaborative projects. Faculty members work together in shaping instructional environments, all while our students engage with peers abroad and gain exposure to different educational perspectives. As part of our 8-point agenda at MSU Gensan, international collaboration is a priority. And COIL is very timely for our College of Education as it aligns with our inspiration or aspiration of becoming a center of excellence. Achieving this distinction requires sustained quality instruction and active international partnership with which this program entails. Our partnership with Universitas Negeri Malang is significant. Through this collaboration, we strengthen regional solidarity in Southeast Asia while raising the academic standards of our respective institutions. May this collaboration deepen our institutional partnership, enrich our classrooms, and prepare future educators who can serve their communities with competence and integrity. Thank you, and I wish everyone a productive and meaningful COIL experience. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
You, Chancellor. Thank you, Chancellor Abantas, for your unwavering support of this collaborative initiative.
Now, to introduce our distinguished guest professor for today's plenary lecture, we call on Ms. Rowena S. Bongolto, MAEN, Faculty of the Mindanao State University, General Sanas. Ms. Bongolto, the floor is officially yours.
Good morning and kalinaw, everyone. So it is my great pleasure to introduce our distinguished guest professor for today's COIL session, that is Dr. Johannes Kirinyawan Barros, MPD from Universitas Negeri Malang. Dr. Johannes is an assistant professor specializing in educational technology and primary education. He currently serves as the head of the Technical Implementation Unit of Academic Administration at the University's Blitar campus and has held key leadership roles in academic quality assurance and educational development within the Faculty of Education. Internationally, he has been a guest lecturer in Malaysia, a keynote speaker at the International Conference, and a reviewer for Education and Technology Research Education Forum. As a researcher and innovator, he has led major projects in adaptive learning and artificial intelligence and has secured multiple registered copyrights for his original educational applications and program. With his strong background in research, innovation, and teacher education, we are truly honored to learn from his expertise today. So please help me welcome Dr. Johannes Kirinyawan Barros.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for introducing me, Miss Rowena. You can hear my voice? Can you hear my voice?
Yes, sir, loud and
Okay, thank you. What are we waiting for?
you can share your screen now.
Okay, it's my time. Okay.
Time.
Okay, thank you. Wait, Wait, wait. Wait, okay, wait a minute, wait.
It's okay, Dr. Johannes. Take your
Yes,
time.
yes, okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Miss Rowena, for introducing me. I'm really happy, Honorable Dean of MSU Mindanao State University and the Chancellor of Mindanao State University. Hello, Philippines. I cannot hear your voice. Hello, Philippines.
Hello.
Okay, hello, Indonesia.
Hello.
Hello, Indonesia.
Hello.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. First, I would like to thank you to Mindanao State University for initiate this program that's called COIL collaboration of international lecturer 2006. I think it's a very good program to exchange our knowledge, especially in our context. Today, I would like to share about topic multicultural in the context of Indonesia education. I think this is a very interesting topic and relate to the Indonesia. Today, we have three learning objectives. First, students are expected to understand microculture and macroculture. This concept helps us to recognize how cultural groups operate both within similar communities and within the broader national context. And the second objective is students will develop understanding about school as a social system. And the third objective is students will gain and understand about 5 dimensions of multicultural education, especially in the context of the Indonesian education or Indonesian curriculum. Okay, we go to the next slide. I would like to tell you Indonesia is a mosaic of diversity. The term of mosaic highlight how Indonesia is composed of many different cultural pieces of culture that come together to form a unified nation. In Indonesia, we have about around 1,200 ethnic groups. from the census of Central Statistic Agency. I think it's a lots of ethnic, and each ethnic have their own languages, local language, and then local tradition, and then local the way of life. Indonesia also have 700 regional languages. As you can see, Indonesia is a mosaic of diversity. So that's why we need a multicultural educational approach. Indonesia as a mosaic diversity, there's a lot of ethnic, there's a lot of tribe, there's a lot of tradition, there's a lot of social culture. So in the context of education, we need an approach that's called multicultural education. So the first I want to tell you what is the definition of multicultural education. I quote from the two references, James Banks and the National Association of Multicultural Education. According to the Banks, multicultural education is an idea, an educational reform movement, and a process whose major goal is to change the structure of educational institution, so that male and female students, exceptional students, and students who are members of diverse racial, ethnic, and cultural groups will have an equal chance to achieve academically in school. That's a definition multicultural according to the Banks. And then next, the National Association of Multicultural Education define multicultural education as a philosophical concept built on the ideals of freedom, justice, equality, equity, and human dignity. So, what is the goal of multicultural education? The goal of multicultural education is to develop students to more open, respectful, and tolerant perspective regarding others who are different from members. And we go to the first objective, microculture and macroculture. What is microculture and macroculture? Microculture refers to a smaller cultural groups that exist within a larger society. These groups may differ based on ethnicity, religion, language, gender, social class, and even specific community tradition. And each microculture has its own unique value, communication style, and pattern of behavior. In the school context, microculture appears in the diversity of our students. For example, students may come from different ethnic backgrounds, speak different language, or have different family tradition. James Banks reminds us that understanding this microculture is essential because it helps teachers to create learning environment that are more inclusive and more supportive of every student. Microculture and macroculture have a slice. Now, let's move to the culture. What is the macro culture? Macro cultures refer to the dominant overarching cultural of society. It includes the shared norms, beliefs, values that guide how the society functions as a whole nation. In countries like Indonesia, the macro cultures include national language, national symbols, and ethnic groups, and social expectations that unify people across different regions and ethnic groups. According to the banks, the macro cultures influences schools' policies, curriculum design, and general expectation for student behavior and academic achievement. The most important idea about macro and micro culture is the balance. Microcultures and macro cultures in the educational context is must balance. Banks emphasize that school should recognize both microculture and microculture. When educators understand these two layers of cultures, they can design classroom practice that respect diversity, promote equality, and support the identity development of all learners. In short, microcultures help us to understand the shared value that bring us together. By acknowledging both, we take an important step towards creating a truly multicultural and inclusive learning environment. We go to the next slide. And we should know what is the relationship between microculture and macroculture. Next slide. This is the slide that explains that the relationships between macro and microculture. Banks emphasize several crucial points regarding the interaction between the two micro and macro cultures. The first relationship is microculture and macroculture is as a multiple membership. We must remember, a person does not have just one culture. I repeat, a person does not have just one culture. You and me, especially Indonesian student, is a part of macro culture as an Indonesian people. But at the same time, we are a member of several microcultures. Example, I am a Bataknese tribe, and I think all of my students is Javanese tribe. That is a microculture about the faith or religion. I'm a Catholic, and many of my students is a Muslim. It's a microculture. Everything. We are a multiple membership. We have a micro and microculture. And the second relationships, complementing each other. Microculture give colors and diversity to macrocultures. On the contrary, microcultures provide a framework for various microcultures to coexist peacefully. And the third relationships, banks emphasize that maybe micro and macroculture have a potential conflict in school. Often, value in school, which usually reflect macrocultures or dominant groups, class with value in student home. It's a microculture. Wait. Sorry. Example. Apa? Papa pulang jam 4. Wait for me, okay? My daughter is come to my office. So, okay, example of a potential conflict in school. A student from microculture who highly values group cooperation collectively maybe struggle in a school system that emphasizes individual competition. That's a macro culture or school culture. Okay, we next to the next slide. So, why should teacher know this? Why should teacher know about micro and macro culture? If you talk, the goal is for teacher to be able to carry out inclusive pedagogy. So, if there is any question, why we as a teacher should understand about macro and microculture? Is for teacher to be able to carry out inclusive pedagogy. If teachers only teach based on macro cultural standards, the problem is students from different macro culture background may be feel isolated or perceived as undercapable when the problem is simply a cultural differences. If you talk about inclusive pedagogy, we are not just talking about culture. We are not talking about tribe. We also talking about individual attribution. So, inclusive pedagogy is not only about culture, accommodate culture. If we talk about inclusive pedagogy, we are not only just talk how to accommodate different culture or tribe, but we also talk about individual attribution. What is individual attribution? Individual attribution is a variable that attached to everyone, like gender, religion, economic status, culture, different or special needs, language, and age. That's all. It's a individual attribution. So, what is the relationships between inclusive pedagogy? Inclusive pedagogy is not only accommodate the differences of tribe or culture. Inclusive pedagogy is also accommodate the attribution of individual, like gender, religion, culture, and so on. Let me go to the next slide. School as a social system. Now we talk about school as a social system. James Banks explained that school is just not a building. Banks tell that school is not just a building. It's not just a place where academic instructional happen. Instead of this, It functions as a complex social system made of many interacting components, such as teachers, students, administrator, rules, routines, cultural expectation. All of these elements work together and influence one another. In this system, students come from different cultural, linguistic, and socio-economic background. This diverse microculture interact within the larger framework of the school value and norm, which reflect the broader macroculture of society. Okay, next, understanding the school as a social system help educators recognize that meaningful change does not happen only in the classroom. It requires a whole school approach, where every part of the system works together to support diversity, equity, and multicultural education. What is the school system? There is a policy and social politic, culture and curriculum, learning style, language and dialect, participation community, counseling program, assessment procedure, instructional materials, formal curriculum, style and strategy teaching, school staff. That's a social school. That's a social school. That's a social system in the school. And next, we go to the second objective of this session. Five dimensions of multicultural education. Now let me explain the five dimensions of multicultural education, and then I would like to make this session more interactive. I need your participating between Philippine student and Indonesian student. After this explanation, I would like to invite all of you to participate so this session can be interactive. Okay. Five dimensions of multicultural education is a guide for educators in creating school environment that respect diversity and support our students. The first dimension is the content integration. This means that teachers include examples, stories, and perspectives from different cultural and ethnic groups in the lesson, in the content of topic. When students see their own culture represented in what they learn, they feel more connected and valued. That's the first dimension, content integration. What is taught? Incorporating diverse cultural content into the curriculum. Incorporating culture in the content of material that teach to the student. And the second dimension is the knowledge construction. What is the knowledge construction? Teachers help students understand how knowledge is shaped by cultural view and assumption. Students are encouraged to ask questions like, whose perspective, whose voice is missing? This builds a critical thinking and cultural awareness. So the main essence of knowledge construction is helping students understand how knowledge is created and influenced. Next slide, I will explain in the context of Indonesian curriculum in the next slide. And the third dimension is a prejudice reduction. This dimension focuses on helping students develop more positive attitudes towards people from different backgrounds. Through discussion, group activities, or exposure to diversity, student learns to challenge stereotypes and develop respect for others. Next to the fourth dimension is equity pedagogy. These dimensions emphasize adjusting teaching methods to meet the diverse learning style and needs of students. Teacher may modify instruction, group works, or assessment so that every student has an equal opportunity to be succeed, regardless of their cultural or linguistic background. So the main idea of equity pedagogy is teaching methods that cater to diverse learning style of students. And the last dimension is empowering school culture. This looks at the entire school environment, not just in the classroom. So schools should have policies, routines, and interaction that promotes fairness, encourage inclusion, and support every student identity. When the whole schools embrace diversity, students feel safe, valued, and empowered. Some of these 5 dimensions show that multicultural education is much more than adding cultural content. I repeat, these 5 dimensions show that multicultural education is much more than adding cultural content. It is involved transforming teaching, learning, and school culture to all students can thrive and reach their fulfilled potential. So, I would like to make an interactive session. In this session, I would like your participate to make relationships between dimension of multicultural education as a school system, dimension of multicultural education and social school as social system. The dimension of multicultural education have a relationship between to the school as social system. So I would like to invite the student from Philippines and Indonesia to collaborate and participate in this slide. I give you one example. Wait, where is the drought? Okay. Hello, student. Still with me?
Yes.
Yes,
Sir.
thank you. I'd like to make some like a mini games to with you, all of you. I repeat that dimension of multicultural education have wait, wait. Oh, sorry, my computer is getting slow. Okay. Social system, it's uh, like a supporting variable to implement the dimension of multicultural education. I'd like to play a mini game. I give you one example. In the social school system, wait. Okay. Why it happened again? Where is the I'm sorry, there's a problem with my computer. It's getting slow. Can you see my screen?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Look, okay. Social school. Why? Okay. Social school as a supporting system to implement the dimension of multicultural education. I would like to invite you to make relationships between its social system that support the dimension of multicultural education. I give an example, like social policies and school politics as a social system has a relationship between empowering school culture. Why? Because to empowering school culture, school need a policy. School need a fairness policy to creating a supportive and inclusive school environment. Okay, you got it? Understand what I mean? Okay, and next, I will invite Philippine student to tell the school, the social system, and the relationships between the dimension of multicultural education. I need one student from Philippines. Can you join with me to make this session more interactive? Hello? Miss Rowena, can you invite one of your students to open their microphone so we can more interactive? Miss Rowena?
Hello, Dr. Johannes. Am I loud and clear? Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear your voice.
Okay, I think some of my students do have their answers already, but they're just a little shy. But let's just ask the host what they can say about your question. Because I think our host here, Travis, and sana yung host natin? Where are the hosts? Kayo talaga yung bala ko, no? Hello, hello, hello. I think
Hello, hello, hello,
you're a
Philippine.
little shy.
Okay,
Still
it's
trying
okay.
to contemplate
I
what
think
you're
two
going to write.
students is enough to make this session more interactive.
Okay, 2 students are
Yeah.
enough.
I think
Okay.
2 students is enough.
Travis, I'm just gonna call you Trav.
Hello po.
There you are, Travis. Can you share a little something about what Dr. Johannes would like you to do? I think, can you kindly repeat the question, Dr. Johannes?
Okay. I will explain it again. School as a social system have relationships to the dimension of multicultural education. School as social system is a supporting system that dimension of multicultural education can be implemented well. Now, I want you to make and explain the social system in the school and the relationship between dimension. I give an example. Social system policy and school politics. We need policy and school politics to implement the empowering school culture dimension. Why? Because to creating a supportive and inclusive school environment, we need a fairness policy from the school. And then I want, and the question is, I want you to pick, to choose, to select one of the social system, and then make an explanation relationships between the dimension of multicultural. It's a clear.
Thank you very much, Sir Johannes, for that wonderful question. So, let me repeat. Do you want me to integrate school as a social system to the dimensions of
Yes. Okay. Just pick one of the social system and
Yes,
make.
yes.
I will make
Okay.
the relationship. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much for my example is integrating the learning style to the content integration. School as a
Integrating.
social system, I create
Wait.
learning style
Wait. Can you
and I
repeat it again?
will connect it to the content integration.
Okay. Wait. What is the social system? What is the social system?
Learning style.
Learning style. Okay. Learning style connected to
Yes.
the
The content integration.
Oh, content integration. Wait. Learning style connected to the content
With the
integration.
content
Okay.
integration.
Why? Why learning style has have a relationship between? Why learning style is a supporting system?
It is because when we integrate different multicultural and as well as multimedia elements to the learning style of each student, like for example, when teachers integrate like multimedia, like videos, using videos as a medium of instruction, as well as different kinds of online activities such as that, we can integrate those as a learning style for them to learn more efficiently and more.
Okay. Thank you. What is your name? Travis. Sorry. What is the student name?
It's Travis, Dr. Johannes.
Travis. Travis Barker is a drummer of Blink 182. Okay. Thank you. And second student and the last student to answer the question. Please, you can choose from one of your student, Miss Rowena.
Hello, Dr. Johannes. For a while, let me check.
Yeah.
May I ask? Okay, can I have Justin on the
Justin.
floor? Justin?
It's not Bieber.
Justin. It's not Justin Bieber. Justin.
Tin.
Justin. Justin, turn on your microphone, please.
Hello, Miss Wang. Hello po.
Hi, Justin.
Hello po. Hello po, Sir Dr. Johannes.
Yeah. Okay, what is your answer?
It would be the hidden curriculum and multicultural dimensions.
The hidden curriculum. Where is the hidden? Okay, this social system connected to the
Wait lang po. Sorry. Knowledge construction po.
knowledge construction. Okay, what is the explanation about curriculum, hidden curriculum?
So I believe that the hidden curriculum refers to the unspoken messages and values and the norms transmitted to students through the school environment. So when we integrate it to the knowledge construction, with this book, we must align it with the dimensions in this diagram, this multicultural education. So with knowledge construction, it helps students to identify the hidden biases in how history or science is taught. So by encouraging students to ask, like, whose story is being told here and who's missing, then this shifts the curriculum from a static set of facts to a critical examination of perspective. That's all for me.
Okay, thank you, Justin, not Bieber. Thank you for your answer. Okay, I think it's enough. For this slide. So the main idea of the main idea of this slide is to tell about social system in the school is an important variable in school to support the implementing of dimension of multicultural education. So, if there is no policy, if in school there is no policy to make a fairness, there is impossible to school creating a supportive and inclusive school environment. To make it happen, supportive and inclusive school environments, the school need a social system like a policy and school politics. That's the relationship between multicultural education dimension and school as a system. Okay, thank you, Justin and Travis, for make this session more interactive. Okay, I go to the next slide. Okay, the last objective of this session, 5 dimensions of multicultural education, in the context of Indonesia curriculum or Indonesia education. Okay. In Indonesia, we have Pancasila. That's called Pancasila as a way of life for Indonesian people. We have Pancasila as a way of life, as a national identity, macro identity. Pancasila is a way of life of Indonesian people. To embody the core value of Pancasila into educational practice, we have a co-curricular program. I repeat again. To embody the core value of Pancasila into educational practice, we have in our curriculum, we have a co-curricular program that's called P5. In Indonesia is a Project Penguatan Profil Pancasila. In English, Pancasila Student Profile Strengthening Project. This P5, I call it the P5 to make it simple. P5 is a Project Penguatan Pancasila or Pancasila Student Profile Strengthening Project. P5, the aim of P5 is to provide students with meaningful learning experiences that help them embody the 6 dimensions of P5. So P5 have a 5 dimension to embody the Pancasila. What is the dimension? The first is belief in God Almighty and have a noble moral. That's the first dimension of P5. And the second dimension is a globally diverse. And the third is be independent. And the next dimension is critically thinking. And the next is creative. And the last is work together. That is a profile of student in Indonesia. P5 or each of this dimension is integrated into the project-based learning. I make an underline, bold. P5 is a co-curricular program. As we know, at least curriculum is divided to the 3 curricular: intracurricular, co-curricular, and extracurricular and hidden curriculum. The P5 is a co-curricular to support the intracurricular. P5 is manifested to project-based learning activity that encourage students to help real-world issue. In this project, students are guided to learn through authentic tasks. They work together, investigate problems, create solutions, and present their outcome. The process prioritizes student growth in attitude, responsibility, and teamwork, not only the final product. Through the P5, school aims to shape learners who are reflective, collaborative, and ready to contribute positively to their communities. The goal of P5 is to nurture well-rounded students who embody the value of Pancasila in everyday life. Students who think critically, act with integrity, and care for others and environment. So, I would like to explain the 5 dimension of multicultural education and the P5 or Pancasila Student Profile Flattening Project dimension. The first dimension, content integration, multicultural meaning. Teachers integrate diverse cultural, religious, ethnic, language, and value perspective in learning materials. What is the relevance to the P5 dimension? Global diversity, faith of God, and noble character. And what is the Indonesian context? Indonesia has a very wide cultural and religious diversity. Through P5, content integration is carried out by elevate local and national culture in project associating value with mutual respect using a project theme based on local wisdom. What is the P5 project example? Ethno-mathematic built space. In Indonesia, we have a concept that's called ethnomathematica. Ethnomathematics, it's a mathematics based on a local wisdom. As you can see at the picture, there is a project of P5 of content integration. The student make a geometry. Geometry is a topic in mathematics. They made a local house in Indonesia. It is a context of content integrity and in the curriculum in Indonesia, especially in the P5 program. And then next, the second dimension is knowledge construction. Students understand that knowledge is shaped by cultural viewpoint, social experiences, and subjectivity. And what is the relationship between P5 dimension? Critically reasoning and global diversity. What is in the Indonesian context? The number of smartphone users in Indonesia is predicted to reach around 87.7 million to 194 million people in Indonesia. There is a large number of smartphone users in Indonesia. So, the information in the era of globalisasi, hoax information, okay, thank you. Student invited to think critically about truths of information, searching for information from various sources. In the era of globalisasi, we can get a lot of, we can hold the information to us. All we can do is filter the information. There is a many hoax information. So what is the project example? P5. What is the P5 project example of knowledge instruction? Become a small journalist, as you can see in the picture. And the dimension next, the dimension of prejudice reduction. Multicultural meaning. Education aims to reduce prejudice, stereotype, and discrimination against certain groups. And what is the relevance to P5 dimension? Global diversity, faith, and noble character. What is the Indonesian context? I tell you a fact about Indonesia. The number of intolerance cases in Indonesia has experienced an increasing trend with a total 477 event and 731 action throughout 2023 until 2024. And throughout in 2025, 268 reports of bullying were received by KPAI. KPAI is a commission for children in Indonesia, with children dying and 101 cases of violence in school. That's a big number of bullying in school in Indonesia. So school become an important space to inculcate interreligious tolerance, anti-bullying attitude, and empathy for social and cultural differences. So what is the P5 project example? Anti-bullying campaign by student. You can see at the picture, student make an poster, make a graphics about stop bullying. And empowering the dimension of empowering school culture. Multicultural meaning. School culture and policy must support the value of justice, inclusion, and respect for diversity. What is the relevance to the P5 dimension? Gotong royong, work together, faith and noble character, and global diversity. In this context, school as a miniature of Indonesian society need to fostering a cultural of mutual cooperation, respect all student identity. And what is the P5 project example? Cross-class or interfaith activities such as social service, environmental project, and cultural celebration of the archipelago. And the last dimension is equity pedagogy. The teachers, multicultural meanings, teachers adjust learning strategies so that all students have an equal opportunity to learn and succeed. What is the relevance to the P5 dimension? In self-sufficient, independent, and critical reasoning. In Indonesian context, government in Indonesia policy that public school should not reject students with special needs. In Indonesia, the government make a policy that public school in Indonesia should not reject students with special needs. So, what is the P5 project example? Students choose by differential learning. Students choose role according to their interest and ability in project, as you can see in the picture. Yeah, I would like to tell about equity and equality. There is a differences between equality and equity. Equality is that everyone have a same support, but equity is everyone gets support but what they need. Okay, that is a last slide from my presentation. Thank you for your attention, and I give the time to Miss Rowena. Thank you. Miss Wen. Miss Wen?
Hello, Dr. Johannes. Hello,
Yes.
everyone. I think our Masters of Ceremony will continue the program. The next part of our program, I think, is the open forum. Where are our Masters of Ceremony?
Okay. Discussion. The next session is a discussion, isn't it?
First of all, thank you so much, Sir Johannes
Okay.
Baris, for an insightful presentation.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for sharing your expertise with us for the vital topic called multicultural education. Thank you. And now, we now open the floor for our forum segment, a Q&A session between students and our guest lecturer.
As a reminder, please type your questions in the chat box and we will read them aloud and direct them to Dr. Barros for his response.
So everyone, type your questions.
I think is everyone is already understand.
You can also raise your hands in asking questions.
Okay, I believe na
Are there any questions? Si Balita mo. Ayun. Ayun. So, Miss Val from MSU, Miss Valderrama, she has a question. Kalinaw and good day. Here's my question. How does... Wait, I cannot read. How does work together or gotong royong in Profil Pelajar Pancasila operationalize prejudice reduction through cross-ethnic collaboration, ensuring marginalized microcultures achieve voice party with dominant groups during project decision making?
Okay, thank you. Valderrama. How does gotong royong in Profil Pelajar Pancasila operationalize prejudice reduction through cross-ethnic collaboration, ensuring marginalized microculture achieve voice? Sebentar, Pak. Sebentar. Okay, gotong royong. Yeah, I think it's a very good question for Fadrama. Okay, gotong royong is a work together. We can work together if there is no stereotype, if there is no prejudice to the others. Gotong royong is a part to implement the gotong royong atau in profil Pancasila. The point is we cannot work together if there is a prejudice to the others. So if we want to work together effectively or gotong royong, we need to reduce the prejudice. If we often to interaction from the others, we will knowing the character of many people, the character of different tribes. By knowing the character of many people or different types, we can meminimalisir, ya. We can reduce the prejudice reduction by the gotong royong. Okay, thank you. I think that's my answer for Valderrama. Thank you for your questions. Is there any questions?
Are there any other questions, dear students?
Okay, my student. Where is my student? Hey, my student, make some noise. Where is my student? My student? Siapa ini? Arum, Pangesti, Arum, Nabila. Hello, my student. Make some noise, please. I think my student is shy to show their face and their voice. Fatwa, ada pertanyaan? Silakan. Atau ingin bertanya kepada teman-teman yang ada di Filipina?
Can I? Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear your voice. And who are you?
Okay, firstly, I want to introduce myself first. I'm Arum Limat Pangesti.
Oh, okay, Arum. Okay.
Yes. Maybe in this occasion, I just wanted to know about the Philippine culture. Maybe how do they implement their culture education to the school, how to implement multicultural to the school. I think like that. Can I have that education, sir?
Okay, Arum, that will be providing in the next session about multicultural education in the Philippines. Your question will be answered next session.
In the next occasion, right? Okay.
Next session in the next session.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, be patient. Thank you for your question.
Yeah, I can't wait for this.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any questions?
If there are no further questions, let's proceed to the certification. First of all, thank you so much, Sir Johannes Barus, for the answers for the students for the questions the students provided. And thank you, students, for your cooperation for today's event.
Thank you.
So, Now, let us hand our certificate of appreciation. But first, I will read the content of the certificate first. The certificate of appreciation is awarded to Dr. Johannes Corniawan Barus, MPD, in grateful recognition for serving as a guest speaker during the collaborative online international learning program conducted by MSU Jensen, BEd in partnership with Universitas Negeri Malang, Indonesia. Your valuable insights, expertise, and meaningful contribution greatly enrich the learning experience of the participants and strengthened international academic collaboration. Given this day, 24 of February 2026. A round of applause, please.
Thank you for the certificate, and I'm really appreciate.
And now, to bring our session to a close, we invite Diane May P. Olanday Lozano, Doctor of Education, Dean of Mindanao State University, General Santos, to deliver her closing remarks. Dr. Olanday Lozano, the floor is yours, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for this
Hello.
meaningful event we have together with Mr. Johannes and students from Indonesia, University of Malang. We're really happy to have you in this first ever COIL program. Shall we give them a big virtual applause? MSU students, yay! So by next session, they will be facilitating the virtual session, and we are very excited also to share how multicultural education applies in the Philippine setting, right? So to all of you, especially to our distinguished administrators, our faculty members, dear students, our future teachers in the field of elementary education, of course, our esteemed partners from Universitas Negeri Malang, a very pleasant noontime to everyone in the Philippines. It's already noontime, Mr. Johannes. Kalinaw, greetings of peace from the College of Education here at Mindanao State University, General Santos. As we come to close this first ever session in our COIL, allow me to express our deepest appreciation to everyone who made this formal launching of our collaborative online international learning program under the Bachelor of Elementary Education Department. This initiative is part and reflective of our college strategic priority to streamline and strengthen our internationalization efforts in elementary education through the leadership of the Elementary Education Department. In this VUCAD world, I hope you learned that in your classes, where change is constant and challenges of this present time are complex. Our colleges, from the University of Malang and the MSU Jensen are called to go beyond the traditional classroom boundaries. We are challenged to deepen our connections, expand our collaborations, and strengthen our commitment toward global and local progress, where our global engagement with our global partners are corresponding meaningfully to our local realities. That is why we are happy to hear today through Mr. Johannes the realities of multicultural education in Indonesian setting. We learned a lot from today's session. So, of course, this will not end here. Next week, we will be having another session where you will see the perspectives from the Philippine setting. And of course, allow me to thank the students in the class of Mr. Johannes, PGSD 236008, multicultural and global perspectives in learning, and to our students under the CPE 102, the teacher and the community, school culture and organizational leadership for affirming your commitment to global outlooks, inclusive education, and peaceful interaction. Again, to our partners from Universitas Negeri Maling, terima kasih banyak for your trust and
welcome.
collaboration. To our department heads, faculty members, and students in MSU General Santos, your participation in this pioneering effort signifies your readiness to be part of the globally engaged teacher education community. So learn as much as possible Bahasa and other foreign languages for us to collaborate more deeply. Again, let us give our heart react and give our utmost appreciation by typing terima kasih banyak to
Salamat
our
po.
friends.
Salamat po.
Mabuhay! At maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. See you again virtually on March 3.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johannes and
Thank
your
you.
Indonesian students.
You're welcome. Salamat po, Philippines.
Thank you, Dean Olanday Lozano, for wrapping up our session with such powerful takeaways.
On behalf of both institutions, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to all speakers, participants, and organizers who made this COIL session possible.
This concludes session 1 of the COIL on multicultural learning and literacy. We look forward to continuing this meaningful collaboration with all of you.
Have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. Stay safe and thank you for joining us.
Once again, I'm Rolf Chavez Mendoza,
And I am Glizar Colonel,
your host for today's virtual event. Thank you and terima kasih.
Salamat po.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Miss Diane. Thank you.
Mr. Camino, see you next session.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.